Hello and happy winter solstice. So, this is a very, very sacred and holy time of year. And what I want to get into in this video is the bigger picture perspective of the energetics that I'm really feeling as we evolve and shift in consciousness, which is this resurrection of organic consciousness. So if you're new here, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Amanda, and this is Awakening Mastery with Amanda, where I am diving deep into the journey of awakening and how to master it as we awaken the master within. So it's very much about self-mastery as we walk this path of awakening and ascension. So attuning to these natural cycles and rhythms is part and parcel of that journey, in my humble opinion. Organic consciousness is very much about connecting deeply with our organic, natural essence, because we are part of nature, right? So connecting with these high holy days, such as the solstices, the equinoxes, the cross-quarter days, the Celtic holidays, if you will, this really helps us to get more in tune, not just with nature and her rhythms and cycles, but our own natural rhythms and cycles. So this is very much about tuning in and connecting with the body temple. So the winter solstice represents a turning point, and it is 3 days of darkness. So it's a 3-day portal. Now I'm filming this on the 23rd, which is toward the end of the portal. However, I needed to honor that time myself, because I actually hosted a ceremony and masterclass, a 2-part series this weekend myself, and I very much was being called to honor my own need to rest, because that was a lot of energy that I put into that to create that. So what's really been coming through for me as I reflect on the greater collective and this shift in consciousness, and many people are beginning to recognize this as well, that the absolute inversions and distortions of our world very much connect to these holy days, the holiday season. So it is meant to be a time of deep reflection and introspection, of turning inward. The three days of darkness is very much about connecting with that void space of potentiality, of infinite possibilities. It is where that seed of hope, that seed of light in the darkness is born and ignited, right? It is being birthed into the world through our body temples when we look at it from this more esoteric perspective as well. But what we see is, these festivities, like all the festive parties and everything, the friends and the family and the obligations and the shopping and the consumerism and the materialism, it is very much taking us outside of ourselves. As much as I enjoy the festive vibes, I mean, you could see around me, I love the holidays. I love this season. It is my favorite season aside from my birthday. But it's very much antithetical to the energetic essence of what this time is meant to be about, of what it's truly calling us to do. So we have the birth of the Christ, of the birth of the Christ light, and that's very much the solar masculine consciousness coming through. But what is also very present at this time is the divine holy mother frequency, the Virgin Mother. So, where did the seed of Christ, how did it get to be birthed onto the planet? It was through the womb space of the Virgin Mary. It is through the womb space of the divine, holy, Sophianic essence. So this is very much what has been lost, because we are, even though it is the season of hope and the season of light in the darkness, we are in the midst of winter. which is the season of being internal. It's a season of hibernation. So there's this push-pull, even though we have Christmas, the birth of the light, the birth of the sun, which is very much a real thing when we connect with the energetics of, the sun returning to, it's returning to life. It's literally the resurrection of the light. And then we have the Gregorian calendar New Year just coming days after that. This is all lovely and fun. However, organically, it's very disconnected from the time of year that we are in, the cycle of the year, the natural year that we are in the midst of. We are in the midst of the dark time of the year. So this is not really a time to be, go, connecting externally outside of ourselves. We're meant to be connecting internally and nurturing that seed of inspiration, that seed of creation that is still just a seed, if that makes sense. Because yes, there's very much this resurrection and rebirth energy, but we have to remember that when we plant the seed, it takes time to nurture the seed when it's still underground in the soil. We still have to nurture it, and those first signs of life don't actually come forth until spring, until the spring equinox. And the harvest season itself isn't even until September. So when we connect with this natural cycle, it really helps us to reconnect with our body, the body temple, because the body is calling us to operate with the cycles of nature. This is how we become our most healed, healthy, whole, happy versions of self as well at a more material, practical level. So spirituality, when practiced in I don't want to say correct or right, because there isn't one path per se, but there are certain aspects that are essential to integrate and to embody, to truly become a whole being, which is ultimately, in my humble opinion, the essence and purpose of this journey. It becomes very practical, actually. And to make it practical, we have to be in the body. So we are beginning to remember, bring the pieces of ourselves back together, bring the pieces of our consciousness back together into a space of inner union and wholeness. And that is actually truly a tall order. So all the different multidimensional aspects of self through this deep alchemy that's occurring on the planet. We literally got a huge solar flare this morning. We've had so many active solar flares and solar activity coming to the sun, to the earth, streaming onto the planet, activating with these Christed light codes at a very biological DNA level. And it takes time to integrate that. It takes time to truly embody these activations. And there's ascension symptoms that come along with it a lot of the times. So this year, what has been coming through is a lot of magnetic energy, a lot of this divine feminine mother consciousness energy is returning to the planet. And what I felt is very much a collapsing of timelines, especially this month on the 1212 portal, collapsing into the 0 point field, this convergence energy. And from that 0 point, all possibility exists. So this solstice is very much about entering that void space of pure potentiality and possibility after the deep season of alchemy that we have just been through. Now is the time to integrate and to be able to receive that Christ light, to be able to receive those divine inspirations, to be in spirit. So, as we move through this season where we celebrate, remember to bring deep gratitude and appreciation for the miracle that is this life, for the miracle that is your body. And to really bring it back to baseline, not so much the material, what did you get for Christmas, or what are you giving somebody, and how much, is it enough, right? your love is enough. Your presence is the present that most people would desire most, right? And a lot of people are still caught up in that ego matrix of illusion and distortion, of competition. And many people have been deeply humbled by the last several years, and many people are remembering what this time is truly about and what this life is truly about, and that it is not about this competition and getting the most money and the keeping up with the Joneses mentality, right? We are leaving that behind because we realize that it is devoid of the divine, and there's nothing wrong on the flip side with wealth and luxury. But where is the source of that coming from is the point here. I very much believe that abundance is our divine birthright. But how is that abundance being created? And is the point materialist in nature or from building a legacy, right? So those of us who are on this organic path are really beginning to reconnect with these divine energies and the divine essence within, with the Christ codes that are activating our divine blueprint. So we are anchoring back into truth as the truth is being illuminated, not just outside of us, but most of all within us, within our heart space, where that crystal seed atom exists in the high heart. And it is through that inner alchemy that our chakras begin to open and align, and we allow that crystal seed to be reborn. So all of these spells that have been cast upon humanity that are keeping us in the illusion that, the veil of illusion has very fully been pierced for so many. And now it is almost impossible for people to look out and say, yeah, this is normal. This matrix reality in which we've been living, everything about that is normal. No. So this season, honestly, is very much about deep alchemy. It's about deep reflection and introspection. And it's a call to come back to self. It's a call to come back to home. The home, home is where the heart is. And the heart is right here. And home is, in essence, in the arms of the divine. And this is also very much bringing up the idea of the divine mother again. So I've been very deeply connecting with Mother Mary, the Virgin Mary, as an embodiment of the divine Sophianic consciousness and all that she represents, and really restoring my relationship with the Divine Mother. And also this story of the miraculous conception. And it's just really astonishingly beautiful and profound in its esoteric implications, as well as, who she really was, assuming that these were actual figures who existed on the planet as embodiments, as Christed avatars of who they were here to represent, to help humanity walk in their footsteps. Mother Mary herself would have been an extremely advanced spiritual adept. She would have been an initiate in her own right to be able to conceive in that way. I do not believe she was a passive recipient, but rather a co-creator with the divine, which places her essentially at the top of the hierarchy of incarnated spiritual avatars on our planet, along with her son, but some would argue. So, take that as you will. But I've been really processing deep alchemy myself as it connects to the mother wounds, and I'll probably share a little bit more about that as we move forward. There's also so much about the alchemy of Christmas and the revolutionary energy that it represents. I will probably post another video tomorrow. I know I posted 3 in a row, took a little bit of a break, and now I've got all these others. It's because I was creating in the midst. So if you want to receive the Solstice package and ceremony, it's very much the restoration and resurrection of the mother consciousness and the alchemy of Christmas that I was getting deep into, as well as this really, really beautiful, magical activation of a journey that was healing and connecting. When I bring forward these activations, I don't really know what's going to come forward in advance. I have some flashes of inspiration usually, but what comes through in the moment. So they're really beautiful and divinely guided. So there's over 3 hours of masterclass content to really reconnect us with the alchemy of this season as well. Like what I'm sharing in these videos is kind of a microcosm of what I've shared, and there's lots of pieces to the puzzle that I weave through in that particular package. So I will link that below. And I also have my book, Let There Be Light, Liberating the Heart of Humanity to Create Heaven on Earth. It's very much, so it was downloaded at this time of year, actually December 1st through 21st in 2020. And here we have this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction tomorrow, a series of 3 that connects with the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction that occurred 4 years ago on the solstice. So it's this 20-year cycle that we're in the midst of, and it's very much facilitating our evolution and expansion as we walk this journey of ascension and mastery. So if the book is very practical in my humble opinion, and it anchors us into the journey and how to navigate the path, beginning with my own cancer diagnosis, how I got in, like how I received these perspectives. It starts with that. So deep initiations, right? So, I don't have a copy. Actually, I do have one right here. So here it is, and I will link this below. Very good for a last minute Christmas gift if you need one. I weave my journey as well as the bigger picture perspective of like the matrix perspective as well as the divine perspective. So I really brought a lot forth to help people navigate the journey. So if that resonates, I hope it does. And I so appreciate your energy, your likes, subscribes, comments help the algorithm so other people see these videos. I have a lot of visions for what I want to create on this channel. There's going to be a lot more coming, and what I'm creating on the back end as well, to really anchor this journey in on a practical level, how to navigate the journey of awakening in a way that doesn't leave you completely like burnt out and lost and in despair, because I feel like that's happened to too many people. So anyway, I'm sending you much love. May you receive all the blessings and magic and miracles that you are ready to during this time. And I so appreciate you. Onward and upward in love and light. I will see you soon.